Listen, this is Anne Marie, host of About This Life podcast. About This Life podcast is about the opportunity to take a look at some of our struggles and see what's going on in our lives so that we can flip that thing, so that we can turn it around and see how we can be successful, how not just surviving, but how we can thrive. And we do so by making different decisions. You guys know every time I start this podcast, I start it with a story or I start it with a poem or a song or yada, yada, yada. But I want to jump right into it with today's guest. And her name is Aisha Makara. Hi, Aisha. How are you? So it is so great to have you, to host you, and I appreciate you. We're going to come into your bio in a few minutes and talk about all of the wonderful things that you have done, are doing with your life, so it can be an inspiration for everybody. But I want to start off with Portugal. What are you doing in Portugal? Check your sound for me, because like we can't hear you. Testing one, two, three. Oh, you know what? It might be on my end because it might be my mic. Say something.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, it's my mic. It's on my end. What's
Oh,
up with that? Go ahead. What's going on in Portugal?
so I moved to Portugal many years ago, about like 10 years ago, after actually doing Camino de Santiago. And my spiritual journey about doing some Camino de Santiago that time was, what is true love? For me, that was my
Mm.
question. And I like as a I didn't know that time of my life that I've been an artist and my life is art and I'm just so creative and so like have so many ideas and so many dreams and I go and just leave them and before I just jump in and after I'm figuring out if I like it or not. um so when I did Camino de Santiago, somebody told me one of the days about Portugal and I got curious. So after I finished my Camino de Santiago, I went to Portugal, backpacking around, and I just love it. I fell in love with Lisbon.
So
I'm
you
like,
just
oh
picked up from wherever you were and you just went to Portugal.
yeah, yes,
Basically.
yeah. I didn't have like any time frame. I mean, I did have the time frame. I have enough time to like explore other places, and so I just let make it like kind of let it be like and went with the flow. You know what about I love about travels,
What
that
is it?
you just go with the flow. At least my travels is like I go with the flow because I realize traveling. I travel a lot, and I realize that everywhere is the same. The experience is different. Every time
Mm-hmm.
you go into the cities, you have like a city sighting. Different experiences, museums, galleries, like food and restaurants, and this and that, and it's amazing. I love it. I really enjoy the city life as well. And at the same time, like I just discovered that when I'm traveling solo, I love to have the experiences that I throw myself, to different things and just say like and just look at it myself, like on my own fears. Sometimes it's crazy and like how I can do it. And so when I arrived to Portugal, I fell in love and I said to myself, I saw myself here. I was a dog living in a little apartment, like a retired, probably like
So
a
everybody
lady.
wants to know when you say fell in love, you fell in love with Portugal or you fell in love with a human being.
No, it was Portugal.
With
I didn't fall
Portugal.
in love. It was Portugal, it was Lisbon, yeah. And
Okay.
the human being came out later, 3 months, whatever. I was already living here, enjoy my life, having like my lifestyle that I love. And so yeah, Lisbon was amazing, and I decided, of course, a love story happening with the story of like being in love with the city and with a lifestyle that you created there. And after when someone is getting into your picture, you kind of like naturally in love with that too. And what I learned from that experience, at least for me, it was so painful. It's kind of a
Mm.
painful experience, falling in love enough to grow towards the love.
Wow.
And I understood that I just fall in love with myself, and I get to love
Hallelujah.
truly myself. That's why when the relationship didn't work out and the things that was many things was disappointing, the way it works, the idea of the family, the idea of the happily ever, and all this theology that I went through and been kind of like, do I want to accept that, or do I want to go in my own journey and
Hmm.
explore myself? So I've been brave enough to go and do that. So I moved to
Yes.
Miami. I become an artist. I started to create. I went
Okay,
to
you need to
the
slow down for a moment because there's a few things that you have said that I want to go back to. First of all, it's this whole notion of your travel because in your bio, I'm reading 60 countries. Okay.
yeah.
So you are a world traveler. What was besides Portugal, which we know that you love, what was your most exciting or interesting place you've ever been?
Well, it's many of them actually. I love Brazil. Brazil is very beautiful, like so
Hmm.
charming and so dancing, so flirty, and so like everything. Brazil has like everything. And I love Italy. Italy have like amazing history and amazing like buildings and architecture. I just fall in love with like architecture, and I'm like, Italian for me is a little bit emotional, and
Hmm. Hmm.
it's a lot of emotions there. So it's like I can deal with that. I was thinking sometimes if I move one day to Italy, would I deal with Italians? How am I going to deal with Italians? It's like I'm going to do it very well, and so for me, it's the most beautiful places in the world was Italy and Brazil.
Yes, and then you landed in Portugal, but you're not just a traveler because you run properties. Where do you find time to hold properties? Real
The
estate.
that yeah that time of my life, I decided to work in real estate, and I decided to
Hmm.
work in luxury real estate, and everyone was telling me like, oh, you don't have any experience, and I'm like, it's all the same in my mind. It's all the same. It's all about relationship. It's not about like uh what you're owning all that's do with a small like start with,
Right.
I look at this from a sort of relationship. So I started to develop a relationship with the people who owns all this big project and big things, and so I learned a lot about like family and family problems inside, because
Mm.
every time you're selling the property, like the castle or the building or something like hotel, and so I learned like how the family runs, the way they operate, the way the decision makes, and who is who and how, and it's like a lot of work to like to manage that
The
relationship work that
psychology
everyone say
behind.
yes and you can sell that hotel. The point is like I learned many things through that experience, and by running, like people just giving me keys that time, like, oh, you should just can,
Yeah.
do
I
something with my
get it.
property, do something. And I'm like, okay, I was learning. And so I learned about as a owner, you get to have people that you can work with, like a trust people.
Hmm.
And some many times money doesn't work. You can pay them so much as you can, but the work will be not done. You can do as like so many things. It's just you're learning through the experience. And from my experience, what I learned, the relationship is very important, and how you
Yeah.
nourish the relationship. And many people from my team that time was not agree with me the way I saw the relationships, and we had a lot of like different disagreements as a young people do in their 20s. It's
Hmm.
ego. You get to work through the different ego, and I understood I become like this grandma. I become like a mommy for everyone, and I
We
kind of
call it aunties here in
naturally,
the States,
yeah,
like your auntie.
yeah, I become like natural this like lady who is solving everyone problems. And I mean, I had my own problem, but I kind of like solving them myself. I don't need like
Hmm.
anyone like kind of like advice. I'm like, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
confused too, but like I'm figuring out. I prefer to do it in my own, because like I understood one things more. I'm sharing with other people my problems and everything, more confused I am about my own kind of like decisions, the way
And
I I
it's
made it
part of
I
that
do.
life. Um, and you could tell me if you don't want to go there. The fact that you didn't know your own parents. You know, you've been on your own for a long time.
Exactly. That's what I also learned through that. I was like, yeah, because probably I get to grow up in very early age,
Like how
kind of
old?
like figuring out, like since I'm two, like less than two, like one mother abandoned me, and I get to kind of figuring out my own way of seeing world. Because like in that moment of my life, it was not like rewarding system. It was not like caring or hugging or kissing, and this is what I used to say. I get to
Who
create my own
raised you?
world.
Who raised you?
I was in orphan. It was an orphan house. Like was I
So
that?
you went
And it's
orphan.
like
So that's
yeah.
the
So
context for your story in terms of there's no hugging, there's no caring.
yeah, it
Okay.
was not easy. Now like when I'm like with so much care around me, and I'm like, it's different. I'm still kind of using today's feeling. And for me, it created like different things in my life because I couldn't connect so much. Like I couldn't understand what family is, and what it is to like have the family, like even choosing family, accepting each other difference, accepting each
Mhm.
other, appreciate each other, even so we're different. At the same time, not so many people actually nowadays understand about relationships, like, and what I also
That part.
learned through the experience, many relationships are broken, even between mother and daughter, or mother and son, father and it's like, oh, the grandmother, like it's all relationship is completely like not like people don't speak the same language. They like
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
grow through their childhood traumas, and they're still going through that trauma that doesn't kind of allow them to grow. And for me, it was always growing through my, like, I'm experienced. If I don't like something, I'm like a kid, I'm saying everything in the face. I'm like, I don't like it, please, like, appreciate my boundaries, or please like respect me as a human being. I'm
Right.
like, I'm
Right.
here to like also live my life, and also would like you to be honest with me, like, because I am honest. When I say I will do that, I'm doing it.
Mhm.
Sometimes of course I'm like changing my mind in the last minute, and I communicate that. I'm like, okay, I cannot, like, if the party sometimes, and I'm saying like, yes, I will show up, but I don't show up, it's fine. I don't feel any guilt for that, because it's just
Right.
party. You know what I mean? And I'm like, why I should feel guilt because of my all my friends who went there, that I know a little bit, like, disappointed me that I didn't show up. Like sometimes I'm feeling like, why I should feel guilt for that, and I'm like, I'm not feeling guilty. That's what I decided. I'm not. And even though they will put on me that guilt when they see me next time, or like, oh, I didn't see you, why you didn't
You don't
come, blah
accept
blah
it.
blah. I don't accept it. I'm like, okay, whatever. Bye. Like, see you later. Somewhere for sure. But like, that's
Were
kind of
you
my
always
attitude
this way?
right now.
Were you
No,
always this
before I
way?
was like a people pleaser, and I'm still is like, I'm still
Yeah.
having that people pleaser attitude. I'm working on this, because I have this desperate idea in the beginning of being belong, and like I want to belong, and at the same time I want to be in service, and I was like just too much, like
Mhm.
caring and doing this what I feel like it's right to do. What I'm starting to understand, by doing that, people don't even see how much they become dependent on you.
Yeah.
And the same
Facts.
time, I know that when I walk away, everything was just falling apart. And when I don't feel appreciated, and that's because I'm choosing to be there, so I'm choosing to walk away. I don't need anyone permission to tell me to stay or not stay,
Mhm.
because it's my decision to stay or not stay. If I feel like I'm not respected, and I communicating it consistently, and they don't even listen to me, or don't have like don't want to have that conversation with me,
Mhm.
escaping, or avoiding, or creating some kind of different issues or situations, I don't like it, because I don't like this wishy-washy, I call it attitude, because many people like this. And I'm like, why people like this? It's like so easy to go. It's just conversation in my mind. It's just conversation. Let's have a conversation. Let's
Because people
figuring
have
out
fears
because
and
I'm
they're
figuring
afraid.
out, myself. I'm like, and people like don't like this. And so I started to understand more and more. Like I get to not be so maybe harsh because I'm like grew up in an orphan. I understand where I'm come from, so I'm doing my best to be like as nice as I can. And I'm like again, using my imaginary. I don't know. At the same time, I get to use my imaginary because I haven't been treated with so much like love or caring, or like I was in such a like crazy cold military since childhood. I don't have time for like feelings and emotions. It's every time it's just like routine, like very brutal and cold. And it's no reward. It's only punishment if you do
But
things or don't do things.
you went from this austere, brutal, and cold environment to a woman full of color and personality. um, how did you find her being you? How did you find yourself to be so vibrant and colorful? What changed for you? How did that come to be?
Well, what I understood, because I become this in my late, like let's say my 20s, when I become a mommy. That's
Mhm.
attitude. I call it like I switch from partner or through the being lover to the mother phase. For me, in the beginning, it was very strange because I was like, oh, now it looks like I care about everything. I'm caring about the relationship. I'm going to all these lunches. I'm going to all these dinners. I'm organizing all these dinners. I'm doing
Right.
everything like by making people happy, creating that safe space for them, and continuously like doing it. And my team doesn't support me. I feel like they just always criticizing me, telling me, oh, you don't work, you don't do this, you don't do that. And I'm saying, it's in the end, you want to have 1,000 apartments, you want to be number one in Portugal. That's how the work does, like do we get to have more
Right.
investors, we get to have more relationship that can create that possibility, these buildings. And if you like, and plus I get to figuring out all the people I get to work with, who is
But
who.
how did you become vibrant, Aisha? Because I'm looking, you ran businesses, you had this austere upbringing, but when I look at you, I see joy, I see radiance, I see vibrancy. Uh, how did that come to be?
Well, I call it like I changed to the grandma. And I understood to being grandma is such a like beautiful, like it's just a face, it's like I just think how the grandma is.
Yes.
And I remember like grandma is always like I imagine because in all the movies, because I pick up a lot from the movies, like
Hmm.
from the all this like cartoons and all this like old
Yeah.
movies. And I'm like, oh, grandma, she's always so joyful. She's always giving you sweets. She's always like kind of nice. She
Spoiling,
doesn't
yes.
have, yeah, spoil you. She doesn't care like about all this. She says like, you're doing good. You're doing good. Always. You're the best. You believe like you're the winner. You're my winner or something like that. So like the grandma is always like kind of like nice and her energy is so like joyful, like
Yeah.
so like caring. And at the same time, sometimes maybe she can cook for you something. Sometimes it's not about that. It's about like she's there and she's always supportive, she's no matter what, she's there like and smiling to you and say like everything will
Hmm.
be fine. And you're looking at her because she's like worked through or like went through so much, and she's your grandma, so you kind of like feeling safe. That's what I kind of came to this point of like, I'm
Safe
this
place.
probably like old soul that people feeling very safe around me. So like, why not just to have fun? So I add fun in it, or like joyful fun. And I started to create more colors. I started to dress up more colorful because
Hmm.
I learned people feel so safe around me, and because I'm so safe about myself and so secure and confident about myself, who I am, the way I am, and comfortable, like being me and being
You're
like,
comfortable in your own skin. You're comfortable
yes,
in who you are. That a
yes,
lot of people are missing because maybe they let that dream go. And one of the things I imagine that this transfers into your art. And so I was looking at your website. I'm like, so I'm doing my Cindy Lauper Girls Just Want to Have Fun because you have a reel in there where you play that song. Tell us about your art, how did you discover that? How did you, were you always an artist, or did that just come to be?
Well, I've been artist, of course, like a while ago, and I was just kind of by doing art, like I was
Hmm.
doing some pieces every year, and I always giving to my friends, like for the present gifts, whatever.
Yes.
Just every time I was feeling it's just my side that I don't explore. You know, like when you're living in a society, you don't go so much in the exploration of something. You're curious a little bit, and you kind of
Hmm.
don't explore that curious. The same with the dancing. For example, I was
Right.
dancing salsa for like a years, and I become like better and better and better. So it was a flow, you know, of dancing.
Hmm.
So I understood that of everything, whatever you decided to do, it's about how much time you were putting towards that. So I started to explore more. So I started to do more like creative stuff. I started to do like theater, you know, and after I started to organize some events, creative events with other artists. And after I started to explore more and more, I started to create my own art. First, I was DJing a little bit, and after I decided to
Why am
create
I not
more,
surprised?
yeah, I was doing different things. I was like kind of experimenting what's
Aisha
my
the DJ, I'm not surprised.
that's kind of what I want to do like later, you know, like why not? If I put more hours in music, I will create started
Uh,
to create more music. And so I'm putting a lot of hours in music right now. I'm listening to a lot of music when I do art. And so for me, it's every time it's just exploring, like exploring more of your creativity when you're getting out of the programs, like all the self-limited beliefs, you know, you start to work from the abundance. And the same time understanding about bigger picture, understanding where you're walking towards, what you're building, what you're
mhm,
creating, and all the like mature I am, I'm feeling more like I'm this one who likes responsibilities. I enjoy organizing. I enjoy guide people. I enjoy curate. I enjoy like creating spaces. I enjoy like being these creative spaces. I enjoy to like even I'm creating my own clothes, you know, like just for myself. That's, you know,
right, right.
naturally. So for me, it's like I don't do it for anyone. I'm doing first for myself because I'm enjoying it. And I
Mhm.
believe like universe or God always want you to live your best. God always taking care of the woman and kids. And I believe in that. As like, you know, I have a faith towards that. And I'm like, God is always
Yes.
protecting me. Whatever decision I make, that's my decision. At the same time, God is always with me. He's always with me best. And he
Right.
always like working with me and helping me and supporting me and just living with me. And more I'm believing in that, I'm feeling so powerful, you know, and like and so like embody my truth, you know. And like when I say I don't want to do something, I don't. Nobody can manipulate me. Nobody can tell me to do something I don't want. If someone manipulating me to go somewhere, party, whatever, you know, if I don't want, I don't go. I
And
It's
you
not
don't
because of
go.
that
But
like
come back to the art though. When you were creating those pieces, and tell our listeners your website because they have to see your art. And is that some of your art behind you? I'm not
well,
sure.
yes, it's all
But
my art behind me.
oh
Yes, and
my
I
God,
have my
your art is gorgeous.
that's my
So
art.
when you are creating some of the things, some of the pictures, what are you thinking about? How do you sit down? What's your creative process? Are you sitting down thinking you want something that's abstract, or do you want a certain form? What goes through your mind when you're creating your art? Yes,
So
colorful.
every time is different. In the beginning, when I just started, I even didn't know which was media I will work,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to do it on canvases, and after I explored paper,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing a lot of markers and paper, and it was like sometimes it's like I have a visions that I just create, and it's like a shapes, and it's like looks very interesting, and so I'm exploring that side of myself. And after sometimes I just go with a flow and see how it
Yeah,
go. Like a flow is like kind of what I can create from that flow. And many times I'm just feeling, you know, like for me, creating art, it to feel, and more I'm feeling this
it's more
I
the
call it
feeling.
joyful, like a joy. I'm creating like more like this joyful containers. I feel like when I'm
Okay.
with the people, I'm creating a joyful container where I want people to feel happiness and joy and lift them up. So I learned one things about me being around people. I'm lifting their energy up. And at the same time, they get to be open towards lifting themselves up
Well, I
as
could put
well.
a check on that. I feel your joy. I can put a check on that. And even in looking at your art, and as I said, listening to the song that went with your video, and literally going up. Did you get to the moon?
Well, my art is flying in the space
Your
somewhere.
art is flying in space. How did you make that happen? Do tell.
So I in 2020 when COVID hit, I was started to do art classes in Miami. It was like art classes, and I was doing like a classes with like different like markets, like different
Hmm.
restaurants,
Hmm.
and I love it. I was dressing up very nice, I was just walking and asking people to do art. And because like the management was very nice, they had a budget for like some creativity in the space. And this is what I also like about America. They have always like a promotional experimental budget for like that you can fit in if you have that, if you
Right.
coming in with idea and telling, oh, pay me like $200 or $300 to have that in your budget in a month. And you just go in there and just ask, like
Mm-hmm.
management. It's so easy in the hotels or whatever. You just like ask if they have a budget. In America, it's normally yes. It depends on the budget. Florida was very easy. I'm just saying that when you have this entrepreneurial mindset, it just happen
Mm-hmm.
naturally. So I started to COVID hit, so all my work was outside. I was doing everything with people. And so I decided that I got to create some different idea of me to be off the grid, with no matter what happened. So I'm kind of off the grid. This is how the idea of the book, I started to write a
Right.
lot, a lot, a lot. I have several books. I'm going to publish like this year one more book. And I decided like every year I'm going to publish extra book, just for myself in the
Absolutely.
first place. That's what I do. And the point is what I'm learning about Amazon right now. I have like different story. I will share with you if you want.
Okay.
But the point is like what happened is I get inspired by kids. I started to work with kids, and I get inspired by
Mm.
kids with dreaming, and we like talk
Mm-hmm.
about dreams, more and more dreams, and more and more. I knew already I was living my dream. I'm living in tropical weather in Miami. I'm living like amazing life. I have a beach. I have like my work. Everything is just great, and I'm just like I'm in heaven. And for me, it's like I understood I'm living my dream life because when I arrived there in 2020, so my dream was to go and be in Art Basel,
Uh-huh.
like the biggest dream of the artist. And 2021, I end up in Art Basel. So when end of the 2020, what happened, I sent my artwork to Elon Musk, to Jeff Bezos, and to Richard Branson, and I asked Elon Musk
Mm-hmm.
to send my art to the space. I
Mm-hmm.
asked Jeff Bezos to send me to the space, and I asked Richard Branson to paint his rocket with my art.
Right.
And
Right.
so I believe it's going to happen because when I ended up in Art Basel in 2021, and I was doing a lot of pop-ups art. I was doing a lot of like organizing different art events, bringing
Mm-hmm.
different artists together, went to many festivals, and I've been like always colorful, always like I was always like this, super happy, interview many artists, hundreds of the artists I interviewed to understand what the idea of artist was, like what it is to be an artist. And
Mm-hmm.
I understood artists, they're living their life, day by day. They don't have this idea of 10 years. So like I do have that idea. Of course, I want to have museum, have the ambitious to was
Right.
like bigger than create some impact in the world, like create the world voice, my own voice slowly, bigger and bigger. That's the way I'm
Mm-hmm.
living, and I want to inspire more people to live their dreams and struggle for them. And the end of the day, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you live your life to the fullest. And I'm doing my best to live my life to the full. And at the same time, I'm creating my own world. So I decided like whoever going to come with me, they get to be in my joyful bubble. They get to respect that joyful bubble, that they get to be all that I'm happy, every time working towards bigger dream, bigger than ourselves. And I want them to be as kids. No, understanding that we're adults, at the
Yeah,
same time being kids, because kids, when they're fighting, they disagree about something, they fight, they scream at each other, maybe they throw something to each other, and 5 minutes later they come to each other
they're
and they
friends.
friends again. They forget all that happened. They don't even talk about that. And I'm just feeling like, why people like every time, let's talk about that, let's talk about the game. How many times I'm
Why
gonna
do people
stop
hold on
it?
to so much turmoil and so much of the negativity? And all they have to do is like, okay, we disagree. Let's go play the
Let's
game.
go play. And
So
this is what
it's
I used.
playful
And I used to say to the people, listen, we disagree about this thing, but and we agree about so many other things. Why are you focusing on this right now? Just let it go. Now people are getting too much to the spirals, like this. I don't know,
in
whatever,
a
spinning in their
spiral.
hair,
So your art
spirals.
got to the moon?
Yes, and so in 2022, I was traveling, and many things happened in my life. Like, we will escape that side. Um, so this opportunity arrived to send my art to the space. It's one of my artist friends. She sent me and
Hmm.
she said, "Oh, Ishi, this thing's connected to your dream. You wanted to send your art to the space. Here's the project. Do you want to apply?" So I applied for the project. I've been selected. I've been interviewed. I
Oh,
signed the contract, and my art went to the space. And they selected to everyone,
wow.
but it was a whole crazy things. I didn't have supplies. I didn't have place to live. I was like traveling with the hippies around the country, and it was like completely crazy. I got to be vulnerable. It was no money, zero nothing. It was like completely like no phones. Everything was stolen. I was like, just was closed, nothing in my life, and this opportunity arrived. And I understood, like, yes, sometimes you can be tired, sometimes you can be completely destroyed, sometimes you can be in the street, and it's okay as far as you're accepting vulnerability of it and being human in the first place. And that first time in my
Right.
life, I get to ask for support, accept that support, and love, like, appreciate that support, and at the same time communicate where you're at. And that's what I
Hmm.
was doing. That what I also learned on the other side of United States, that when you're in these moments of vulnerability and weaknesses, when you cannot, like, function or create or produce, or you're out, you're out of the system, you're on the streets, and that was like, this is not going to happen here in Europe. You're not end up in the street. Nobody will allow you. Your friends will not allow you to do that. And your people, like my friends here said to me, like, take as much time as you need to, like, recover, do
Right.
whatever, like, enjoy. Here is the place. Here is the fridge. Just recover and take your time. Because
What a
they see you.
notion to
Yeah, they
recover.
see you, how beautiful you are. They see that you've been in the, like, right now something happened, and you, even like you say, I don't know how long it's going to be. But the point is, they're patient. They have a patient, and now, and I'm feeling like what is missing in America is a patient. And because it's always so
Patience
many,
with one
like,
another.
yes, exactly. And that's what I was surprised, because, like, my friend, like, I have very rich friends, like, and
Hmm.
I stayed with them a little bit, and they were like every time pushing me. And I don't like it. I said, like, I don't know when I started to produce again. Please just leave me alone. It's not about money. Like, you have a millions. What's your problem? Like, to have me for like a few months, and you're already like pushing and pushing, and it's not even like, in my mind it was like, it's just so much, you own so much, you have so many, and you're just one person. Like, why you're not allowed one person right now, your friend that for many
Hmm.
years, like, going through the experience, and you cannot, like, allow that person just to be, you know okay, if you don't want to help with anything, or just like be that person to enjoy a little bit of being, doing nothing,
Hmm.
um, and I'm feeling like, I've when these moments happen in my life, and I experience this in the United States, I realize who is who. Like, because it's all, and I understood in America, it's very, everything is transactional. It's not
Yeah.
about like
Yeah.
real feelings. It's all about like business. I don't know, kind of like, it's not about real
Transactional,
feeling.
no connection. No connection.
Exactly, and we have the connection here. Like, that's what I'm experiencing in Portugal. I have family here, even no, I don't have that. My friends is my family, like, and the people,
Hmm.
like my
Your
friends, is
chosen
caring about
family.
my chosen family. Yes, we don't maybe like each other sometimes. It's okay. We're different, and at the same time, they love me, and they doing their best to, like, to help me with whatever they can, and always like giving me ideas, and helping was
Mm-hmm.
like it's a completely different way of like living life. They appreciate me as a human being. They appreciate me as a friend. I don't know. They appreciate my presence in their life because I put
Question
many
for you.
colors.
Yeah. Do you get ever get afraid?
Of course, many times. Well,
And what
like
and what do you do? What does Aisha do to move
especially when I'm in
past that
love.
fear? Huh?
I'm
Say
very
that again.
scary. I'm getting scared, very scary when I'm in love with other
Mm,
person. I'm like my from my own experience, when I'm in love, it doesn't end up good. It end up very, very not good.
not good, not good. I
Even so, I'm doing
understand.
my best to I'm doing my best to create as much like positivity in it and jokes and everything. It's just like I don't know. It's just so different. That's what I said to myself, Aisha. It's better that other people in love with you. It's like because every time I'm in love, it's like so much fire, it's like a lot of fire all around. It's just a fire, fire, fire.
It's intense. It's intense. Well, the reason why I
So
ask you that
intense.
question, because I think about people who are listening. And the people who are listening are might be saying in your minds, well, okay, Aisha is young, she can do that, and she doesn't have a mortgage or kids,
Yeah,
and they're
that's true.
thinking, how am I going to get up and go someplace? But I think the message, the through line that's coming through and everything that you have been saying is first of all, live your life out loud, be you, be wonderfully you, live in a space of joy because that flows from abundance and that flows over into other people as well. Also, what's coming through is take risk because creativity requires a little bit of risk taking and ultimately to get to the place where you're fulfilling dreams. Your art went to the moon. So creativity is about fulfilling dreams and designing that.
Yes. And I'm actually, what I learned about myself, I'm very good, like a dream designer. I know how to
Mm,
design the dreams. I know how navigate people. I know how to like show them the direction of their own dreams. And if they don't know how to design their own, reality, I'm very, very good at it.
unpack that for me. What do you
I'm
mean
like,
by dream design? Unpack that. Come on.
it's like, every time when you're having a dream, like I get to understand, for example, like my dream is like going around the world on a sailing boat. For that,
Hmm.
it's not just going. What I learned, I've been on different sailing boats around the world, and what I learned, I cannot do it with random people. I get to learn, like I get to be with people I know. And I
Right.
learned through one experience that all the people who went through around the world was with their brothers, with their sister, with their family members, with someone that they
Hmm.
know for very, very, very long time. And sometimes, of course, people go with people like that they don't know each other for like some months, and kind of like figuring out
Hmm.
their way. And what I learned, I said to myself, I would like to travel around the world. How I want to do that? Okay, I'm going to do the course. I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend more time on the boat. I'm going to, learn about the boats
Right.
slowly, no rush.
Right.
And at the same time, being consistent about that, continue, because that's part of my dream that I want to live. If I'm going to jump on a boat and going to travel with some random people, I don't know if I will finish it, because like, it's so many egos, like you're in a little boat
Hmm.
together with so many other people that you even don't know, and I'm just from sometimes I'm feeling, yes, sometimes you're feeling good energy, other times
Right.
the good energy is not good. And you get to feel safe, in a boat. It's like, how are you going to feel safe in the first place
So
when
you
you
help other people figure out what their dreams are, what their
exactly.
dreams may
And
be.
with my kind of like a way of thinking, I'm just sharing like about the dream that I'm living, and then navigate myself towards that dream. If you're artist, so for example, if you're artist, or you want to be actor, you want to be CEO, I don't know, like a
Mm-hmm.
big company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different steps. It's a different way of
Yeah.
playing, the game. How fast you want to be CEO, how fast you want to be like somewhere like Art Basel in,
Right.
in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years. Anything is possible. It's about commitment. It's about the commitment and focus that you want to create and hours that you're going to put towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that because through my own experience being in real estate, being engineer, being traveling around the world, it doesn't matter where you're in the world. It matters who you are in that place, how you see yourself in that place.
Well, that's it right there. It doesn't matter where you are, it matters who you are in the
Yes.
world. So before we close out this conversation, let's go back to your art again, because you mentioned a few things about it. For example, is you want the impact in terms of people to feel joy. So, what would you say to someone about maybe they are creative, but they they forgot about it. They put it on the shelf somewhere, what would you tell that person about their own creativity in terms of getting back to it?
It's never late. It's
Mm-hmm.
always time to create anything you want in this lifetime.
Yes.
Trust, we're here to win. We're all winners, and the small wins matters. Celebrate all of them. I'm not good at it, actually. I'm still learning how to celebrate all my
Yeah.
small wins and big wins, but today was my big win. So I went on a nice, I went to the beach, spent like 2 hours back, and I was like, yeah,
Yes.
it was a win. And at the same time, spending so much time on the traffic was a little bit, challenging. And at the same time, you have to appreciate all of it, like learn how to appreciate that part. I'm still working on, how to appreciate the good, the bad, the ugly, and sometimes the ugly
Yeah.
side of it, of the reality that we're living in, all the pollution, all the other side things that
Mm-hmm.
it's still there, all the garbage in the street. Sometimes I'm just feeling like what I can do to improve it, what I can do now by improving it. And
Right.
sometimes, I'm still kind of figuring out. I don't know. I know that
Okay.
when I started to ask this question myself, I
Uh-huh.
started to create the action towards that, because I started to create the by creating a question, you started to thinking about that, and after you started to create the
Right.
actions towards that. So everything have, I call it like a reason and impact. Like any cause has a, the vibration towards where you're moving and where you want to move and why you want to move. So it's not about the place, it's what you do in that place. And
It's who you are. It's who you are and what you bring. So how do people get in touch with you?
people can go to my website is Aisha today, is AISHA today. Find my art, my books. They can also see I'm investing right now in Portugal, different project. They can get in touch with me through the
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp or my email. So I'm very, you know, open. You can always book the time with me. I'm mentoring. I have a mentorship program as well that I'm guiding people towards the dream life. I call like joyful living.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm publishing my second book that's called like Dream Life in the Flow. I'm going to do self-publishing, so it's not going to be any. Maybe I will put it on my website
Yeah.
slowly later.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the same time, my plan is not working with a corporate, because corporate takes absolutely everything from you, from us, and they're sucking our energy, and they don't give anything back. We're just giving them, and we don't get anything from them. So that's the money is not
Yeah.
the like, it's important. You can create many things, amazing things with the money, um, but when you're working with a corporate, you don't have that time to create, because you're spending all your time to work for that you cannot
Well,
enjoy.
it sounds like creativity is if that's part of who you are, you always want to be true to self. You
Yeah, I'm
always
just
want to be express yourself, right?
Yes, but I'm just
and
one
beyond.
person that what I used to say. Like right now, I don't know, of course, what's going to happen if I'm going to have husband and kids and all that package, and if I want to have that package. And the point is like I will figuring out because I always do, and I believe like
Yes.
people figuring out that true. They always do, and they create that lifestyle that they want to have. Now I just get to take care of myself. That's it, me and myself and I. And the other things, I'm always saying to myself, if I die today, would I die happy? And my answer is, oh,
Hmm.
yes, I am.
A
And that what
resounding
matters.
yes. Yes, a resounding yes. Well, I want
So
to
it's
thank
just,
you for being my guest on About This Life. It's been a joy just to have this conversation with you. And I will share with you and with our listeners as well that I'm excited too. My second book is coming out. Woo-hoo.
woohoo,
Um,
celebrating.
Yes, my book is called Dear Black Woman, hence the cup, hence the mug. Dear Black Woman, and Dear Black Woman is a joy. And Dear Black Woman, had the opportunity to write letter to my younger self, and it touches upon a few issues. And I brought, there's a couple of co-authors along with me. There's 16 of us who have put together this anthology. So I am hoping that everyone will pre-order and purchase that. There is going to be a gala where all of the authors will be celebrated. We're going to be celebrated in Atlanta, Georgia, September 25th through the 28th. We are going to have dancing, spoken word, or a poetry slam. We're going to have dinner. We are going to have gowns like we're in a beauty pageant. It is going to be marvelous. And anyone who would like to attend or to support us in this important endeavor, there will be a link that would be at the end of this podcast, and I hope you go ahead and buy a ticket or buy a book box. Okay, this is Anne Marie today. My guest has been Aisha Makara. It's been a joy. It's been my pleasure where we are changing our lives one day at a time.